So we have been discussing how to make economic development practice a bit more entrepreneurial. So what I've been able to do, or what I did, was basically put together some things that I think may form the basis of a framework that we can use to begin to move the economic development practice to become a bit more entrepreneurial. So that's the topic for today. Hello and welcome to Dev TV. At Dev TV, we profile ideas, innovations, and individuals in economic development. These individuals are doing amazing things in economic development, and we profile them every other week. Today's monologue is a continuation of what we've been discussing in terms of how to make economic development a bit more entrepreneurial, because we think being entrepreneurial in the work that we do will get us a bit more traction in terms of impact. So in thinking about it, being entrepreneurial, and thinking about exactly what it means to be entrepreneurial, so what I thought I'd ought to do is to present you an idea that I got, that I thought might form the basis of economic development practice to move us along the entrepreneurial scale. So the first thing I ought to say here is that this framework, I feel, builds on the technical skill that we learn in the making market work for the poor approach, the market system development approach that's been working really well. So this here effectively builds on that, and I suppose what I ought to say is it enhances elements of the making market work for the poor framework. Now, there are obviously two ways I can do this. I can do it from the project level or from the intervention level. Since I am concerned about the practice of economic development, I am focusing more, at least at the beginning, on the intervention level of this framework. Now, this here is an idea. It's just an idea. I'm putting together an idea, or I've put together an idea that I thought I'll ask you what you think of it. Excuse me. What you think, whether or not this makes sense in terms of developing this into a really useful framework for the people that do direct intervention, people that go out to the field to actually do the work that needs to be done. Because obviously we have agreed that we need to make them entrepreneurial. What I also say at this point is to thank the people that have been putting incredible comments and suggestions and ideas in the comment section, especially on Facebook. There's been really nice conversation going there, and I'm really grateful for all of the ideas and suggestions. And it will be really good for you to continue to suggest and tell me what you think about this framework idea that I'm thinking. So as I mentioned earlier, I want to focus this on the intervention level, because I believe if we can get the intervention level right, if we can get a combination right, then the project level will not be that much more difficult. So two key elements. One of the things that we discussed and we agreed on in the comments and the discussion we'll be having on Facebook, as far as the being entrepreneurial, or what makes a person or an institution entrepreneurial. We agree that there's a mindset element to it, and there's a skill element to it. So what I'm about to present to you is basically the two things, and training or some sort of focus on these two areas will hopefully make us a bit more impactful in the work we do in economic development. So, entrepreneurial mindset. Now, this is really focusing on economic development practice. This entrepreneurial mindset, I'm sure there'll be a lot more factors that you can include in the list, but this is just my list. Learning mindset. I've posted a lot of video talking about how we really should approach interventions, or at least when we do economic development practice, we ought to go with an open mind where we can learn from the people we're trying to help and the people we're partnering with. Clarity seeking. What I mean by clarity seeking is that we really need to be clear who it is that we're trying to help, what the problem is. Yes, we have this in the technical skill of making market work for the poor, but some of the times we stop the level of clarity is too shallow. So you say farmer and then you say cassava farmer, but there's several categories of those people going down that narrows exactly the focus of the intervention. And this will help in the way you identify the problem, the way you design a solution, the way you even implement the solution. This is what I think is really useful to do. There's a multiple perspective. I posted ideas. I posted a video on this already, where I talk about it's important to bring in all of the stakeholders to their perspective to whatever it is that we're trying to design, and release ourselves to do co-creating with these people. Experimentation, it's just that you ought to believe that not your very first solution may not be the right solution. So you need to experiment. You need to think about different ways and different approaches to doing things. The thick skin here, what I mean by that is basically open-mindedness. You have to be ready to accept that whatever solution that you brought or whatever you think the problem is, you may be wrong. So you need to really be able to accept that. And I think that makes for a good entrepreneurial mindset. So the second part of this is skill enhancement. And under skill enhancement, what I've done is basically divided into two. The first part is psychological. What I mean is that as economic development practitioners, we really should have a full understanding of the psychology of behavioral change. There's a really good there's a skill to this, and I think in making market work for the poor that Springfield does, they've introduced this element to it. Influencing, negotiation, sales, because what we do is to develop an idea, present the idea to our beneficiaries, partners, whomever it is that we're working with. And we have to have the ability to sell these ideas to people. Since we're going to be providing a level of support, we have to be able to negotiate these ideas with them and see how we can reach. We have to have the skills, because the more we are capable in these areas, the more likely that our interventions will be a bit more impactful. The second part of the skill enhancement is something that I call intervention model canvas. Now, this is based on Alex Ozowanda's business model canvas. And in that business model canvas, he has 9 elements. But in the intervention model canvas, I have 12 elements. And essentially what this is basically a canvas that allows you to see the entire picture of the intervention, from the beneficiaries, the solution you're providing to the problem, the channel in which you reach the beneficiaries, the activities that you need to do, the resources that you need, the potential cost, the partners. All of that you can see in one big canvas, and this hopefully will enhance the way you communicate with your colleague, with the beneficiaries, with partners. And with that, you'll hopefully be able to convince people to move along the intervention model. So what have I presented so far? Entrepreneurial economic development practice has 2 parts: mindsets and skill enhancement. And both are necessary for us to develop and be able to we need to develop as practitioners, so we are able to deliver good economic development practice. I'm mindful of the time, that's why I'm rushing through this. Thank you very much for watching, and please leave comment in the section below.